Well, I am bored as hell, and so I decided it would be a good idea to just go ahead and read all the male Homestuck characters' introduction pages in the voices that I do for them. I can't do the female ones worth crap because if my voice goes that high, it'll crack like a bitch. But I'm doing this because I am bored out of my skull and I have literally nothing else to do. Let's begin, I guess. Your name is John. As was previously mentioned, it is your birthday. A number of cakes are scattered about your room. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for really terrible movies. You like to program computers, but you are not very good at it. You also have a fondness for paranormal lore and are an aspiring amateur magician. You also like to play games sometimes. What will you do? Your name is Dave. It is an unseasonably warm April day. Your bedroom window is open to let some air in, and your fan is cranked. Arguably, even more cranked would be your fly beats, which brings us to your variety of interests. A cool dude like you is sure to have plenty. You have a penchant for spinning out unbelievably ill jams with your turntables and mixing gear. You like to rave about bands no one's ever heard of but you. You collect weird dead things preserved in various ways. You are an amateur photographer and operate your own makeshift darkroom. You maintain a number of ironically humorous blogs, websites, and social networking profiles. And if the inspiration strikes, you won't hesitate to drop down some fat rhymes on a mofo and represent. What will you do? Your name is Jake. You love movies, all movies. You would describe your taste in film as eclectic, but in truth, it isn't much less than totally indiscriminate. You bluster frequently of exuberance for firearms and fisticuffs and adventure, though have no human company with which to share these interests. But who needs chums when you can enjoy a top-notch gander of your gals of cerulean complexion? Hubba hubba. You're known to be found with your nose in a comic book or two. Not that it makes you a nerd or anything, like you even care about that. Not a gent of your panache and swagger, qualities which you would bandy with aplomb on your globe-spanning adventures, hypothetically speaking. You would love to travel around the world, toppling any sacred urns you encountered. You'd be tickled by the opportunity to defile hallowed tombs everywhere, raiding them of their treasures, and how you'd give your right leg for a shot at desecrating the shit out of some real-life mystic ruins for their Byzantine wares. Luckily for your limb, there is a dandy set of ruins nearby, and you desecrate them quite frequently. You are also troubled to contemplate frightening fauna and plagued daily by their regrettable realness attribute. What else? You sure like to wrestle. Did you mention fisticuffs yet? You know, scrums and whatnot. Also, skulls. Gosh, you love skulls. There is a good skull at the heart of any mystery, haunting its every page. That is what you always say. Or, at the least, it is what you always hope. What will you do? Your name is Dirk. Holy shit, do you love puppets. You possess the extreme dexterity to operate your false friends unseen. That is, when they are not preambulatory through your lovingly imbued mechanization. You dig right in cognitive algorithms for said apocryphal men, and you think maybe that's fucking dope. Guess what else is dope? Everything else you do. You're a sick, wicked autodidact on ancient civilizations, a self-made master of mythology, and a preternatural pop culture academe. If you weren't so damn aloof and actually let people get a load, you might get described all kinds of ways. Maybe tagged as a Renaissance ninja, philosopher prince, and flash-step puppeteer. Or maybe a pantheonic ironicist, gangster logician, lucid waker, and Dursite spy. Screw descriptors, though, as if the shits you gave ain't nil. You're cool with dabbling in the fine sequential arts, and your work could be viewed by some as borderline pornographic. And to those Philistines, you'll be heard wondering, what the fuck do you mean borderline? Against the better judgment of one your age, you build robots, set them to kill mode, and spar with them to death. That is when you're not sendificating them to friends or dueling them with rap lyrics. But you try to cool it on the deathmatch stuff when your bro is looking, which is virtually never. And considering he's a reputation staked on some order of martial nobility, that strikes you as a staggering oversight and brotherly vigilance. You don't have the heart to hold it against him, though. What will you do?
Your name is Karkat Fantas. As was previously mentioned, it is your wriggling day, which is barely even worth mentioning. It is an anniversary or anything to lament the faults of your existence, of which there are assuredly plenty. Equally plenty, and somewhat related to that topic, are your interests. You have a passion for ridiculously terrible romantic movies and rom-coms. You really should be embarrassed for liking this dreadful cinema, but for some reason you're not. You like to program computers, but you are notoriously pretty awful at it. Your programs invariably damage the machines on which they are executed, which is just as well since you like to believe you specialize in computer viruses. When you mature, you aspire to join the ranks of the most lethal members of your society, the Thressecutioners. You like to practice with your really cool sickle, but just kind of wind up looking like a kind of doofus by yourself in your room. You like to chat with some of your other troll pals, most of which drive you batshit up the fucking belfry. You've been trying out a new chat client called Trollian, and you're not really sure what you think about it yet. Your troll tag is carcinogeneticist, and you speak in a manner that is almost exclusively ornery all the time. Later, you will play a game with 5 other friends and go on a big adventure with them. This game, for convenient reference, is a game that does not yet exist, but it will soon. What will you do? Your name is Tavros Nitram. You are known to be heavily arrested by fairy tales and, fantasy stories. You have an acute ability to commune with the many, creatures of Alternia, a skill you have utilized in capturing and training a great many. They are all your friends, as well as your warriors, which you pit in a battle through a variety of related, card and role-playing games. You used to engage in various forms of more extreme role-playing with some of your other friends before, you had an accident. You like to engage in the noble practice of Alternian slam poetry, possibly the oldest, most revered, and certainly freshest art form in your planet's rich history. You have a profound fascination with the concept of flight, and all lore surrounding the topic. You believe in fairies, even though, they aren't real. Your troll tag is Adios Toreador, and you, speak in a sort of, faltering manner. What will you do?